Okay, today I'm here with John. Tell me your title, John.
My name is John Mason. I'm the project manager for mining services with the Thunder Bay Economic Development Commission.
Okay, John. So you've had a lot of activity yourself in talking about the Ring of Fire development in the northern part of Ontario here. That's going to be a big event, big activity.
A very exciting event, yeah, it's our project in general. It's a series of projects at this particular point led by Cliffs Natural Resources on the Black-Thor chromite discovery, and they control, as you're aware, two other chromite discoveries as well in that particular area. And then Noront Resources on their nickel, copper, platinum, palladium discovery called the Eagle's Nest. And they're, interestingly enough, both camps are within about 100 meters of each other. So those are the two key players on the discovery side. Other exploration is continuing as well by firms like Fancamp, Probe, McDonald Mines, just to name a few.
So those two major projects, that would make a huge investment in this area, would it not? Or?
No question about it. Thunder Bay, interesting geographically, the location is about 550 kilometers northeast of Thunder Bay, but on about the same latitude as the Victor mine and the Musselwhite mine. So to frame it geographically, I picture in terms of the opportunities for Thunder Bay, Foreign First Nation in the Northwest on the employment and job side, the opportunity for flying crews, for example, to an airstrip at the Ring of Fire to work on these projects would, for the most part, come out of Thunder Bay, I would think. Thunder Bay Airport would be a key location to move those crews. By air, you're about 4 or 5 minute difference in terms of flying time to Musselwhite, which is just less than 2 hours from Thunder Bay. So Goldcorp and the Musselwhite thematic brings their crews in and out on a 2-week rotation. I see Ring of Fire being very similar. So Thunder Bay has to be poised and ready to capitalize on that piece, that opportunity.
So those mines, what kind of an investment would they be making up in their sites then?
Well, good question. The Cliffs Natural Resources have just revamped their estimate on the entire project because the project, and again, Cliffs is mining chromite. That metal is used mainly for the stainless steel industry. But on site, they require mine development, large open pit, concentrating mill, then an integrated transportation and power system to that particular site from the Greenstone area. And fourthly, somewhere in Ontario, there will be a ferrochrome processing facility. So that's the fourth piece within this. The overall cost of that particular, of all those attributes, is well over $3.3 billion. So that's probably, to frame it, about 3 times the amount of money that's spent to build the average mine in Canada. So and part of that's because of the terrain, the lack of infrastructure into the area, and the size of the project, and all the physical attributes that are required to produce ferrochrome metal that'll again go to become stainless steel at some point.
And then in addition, you were saying that it will create a lot of direct and indirect jobs then.
Exactly. Between Cliffs Natural Resources and Noront, there will be well over 1,000 people involved with the construction phase of both of those projects. Operational phase, once the mines are built and the mills are built and the infrastructure is built, will back off slightly. But even employment numbers will probably be close to 1,200 people, just as one example with Cliffs Natural Resources. Cliffs has actually given a presentation in Thunder Bay today, an open house, to do with their environmental assessment, and that's one of the things that through the Canadian Environmental Assessment Agency, both Noront and Cliffs are working through that particular process right now. So that's part of the timelines to get to production by late 2015, early 2016 with both those projects. But you're quite right. Huge employment opportunities, and you often have, indirect, if I might add, indirect and induced job at a scale of about 4 to 5 to 1 of any direct jobs on a mine site, and that would be true of the Ring of Fire area as well. So that speaks volumes in terms of the opportunity to grow literally hundreds of businesses, as well as provide direct employment for skilled trades, as well as professionals and laborers on these particular sites.
So really, Thunder Bay and the surrounding area could be in line for a huge economic boost here.
That's exactly right, Scott. And that if you add the other 11 projects that are ready to produce between 2013 and 17 in northwestern Ontario, led by Rubicon Minerals, I might add. Rubicon have a gold deposit in the Red Lake area, just under the waters of Red Lake, in fact, very close to the Goldcorp Red Lake facility. So that'll be the first project out of the gate. And all of these projects have requirements around power, human resources, and various other opportunities for the people of northwestern Ontario. I would suggest Thunder Bay is developing, is already now and will develop even more so as a regional exploration and mining service center for Northwest Ontario, for the opportunities that are at our doorstep.
Okay. And very shortly, you're heading down to Toronto for a major mining exposition.
Yes, yes. I'm glad you brought that up. On Sunday, the 4th of March, there'll be a major conference starting in Toronto called the Prospectors and Developers Association Annual Convention. Some 30,000 people attend, 150 countries represented, led by countries like Canada and Australia. It's not a secret that Toronto's hosting this event, and it's gone on since the early part of the last century, this particular event, and grown astronomically based on the requirements for locations like China, India, Brazil to grow their economies, and just metal pricing in general for industrial minerals, base metals, and particularly precious metals like gold and silver and palladium. So this particular conference is a huge opportunity to ramp up the readiness piece, illustrating that Thunder Bay, Northwest Ontario, 4 First Nations, all of the First Nations and municipalities of the Northwest are gearing up and becoming ready to engage in a more dynamic fashion, in a more fulsome fashion, the opportunities around exploration and mining.
So Thunder Bay and Northwestern Ontario, they'll be on the radar map at that event then.
They will for sure. What strategic plans that we have at this particular event, which goes for about 5 days, that particular conference at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre, will be to through targeted meetings with the key players in Northwest Ontario. These are the companies that have found the deposits, that are going to be developing them, as well as some of the more grassroots projects that are going to mature to become advanced projects at some point, as well as new service and supply opportunities for bringing business to Thunder Bay that can engage these sectors. That's part of my strategy going forward, as well as we're going to have key displays in the Ontario Pavilion. The province of Ontario, very receptive to municipalities like Thunder Bay, Lakewood University, Confederation College, Thunder Bay Chamber of Commerce, Fort William First Nation. We're all in it together as a collective, working in the Ontario Pavilion for the entire conference, and all about business growth, job opportunities, and career development for youth in the Northwest. To me, I'm very excited by the event. It's going to be a huge opportunity for Thunder Bay.
Well, that's good. Well, that sounds very nice. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.